The Federalist Papers by Alexander Hamilton, John Jay, and James Madison. Introduction. Among the most effective of the instrumentalities which were employed in the overthrow of the royal authority within the 13 United Colonies of America was the public press, and in the proceedings which led subsequently to the establishment of the Constitution for the United States, between the several states which assented thereto, the same powerful agent was again brought into action, both by the supporters and by the opponents of that instrument. In the latter memorable contest, quite as much as in the former, the public newspaper press in all parts of the Union teemed with anonymous political papers of great merit, in the preparation of which some of the finest intellects in America had found employment, and at no other period, not even in the memorable days of the Whig Club, had the judgment of the people been instructed with more profound ability, or its action directed with greater wisdom. Among the manifold productions of the press, on the occasion referred to, none were received with more general respect, and none have been preserved and referred to with more satisfaction than those over the signature of Publius, which found their way into the periodical press of the city of New York in the fall of 1787 and during the following winter and spring. At that time, and on the question of approving and assenting to the proposed Constitution for the United States, the state of New York occupied a peculiar position, and on her decision of the question of its acceptance and ratification to a greater extent than on that of any other state, depended the future welfare of the United States, and the place, if any, which they should occupy in the great family of nations. Within the borders of New York, and among her members, had originated the greater number of the measures which had led to the War of the Revolution, and inspired by her example, and encouraged by her success, not unfrequently also directed by her popular leaders, her 12 associates had learned at an early date to look to her as to a leader, in the assertion of their own political rights, as well as in the more decided opposition which from time to time they had made to the representatives and to the measures of the sovereign. In the protracted struggle for independence which had ensued, her inhabitants had suffered more from the enemy, and during a longer period than those of any other state, and her territory, which had been held by the sovereign of Great Britain from an early day by right of conquest, was the last which had been abandoned by the royal forces, nor even then had it been fully and formally surrendered in the mode which had been prescribed by the military usage of that day. Of the 13 members of the Sisterhood of States, after the war had been terminated in an honorable peace, New York alone had...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?